Okay, let's start. So epiploic foramen, let us talk about these boundaries. I told you it's a very important 5 marks question. So what are the boundaries? Epiploic foramen is also called as foramen of Winslow, which is an opening which is through which the greater sac is communicating with the lesser sac. Anteriorly, it is bounded by lesser omentum, isn't it? So what are the VAD structures I told you? We have bile duct,
Portal vein,
Portal
portal
vein,
vein,
Hepatic artery,
hepatic artery, and bile duct.
duct.
Very good. Portal vein, hepatic artery, and bile duct we will find in this right free margin of the lesser omentum, which is forming the anterior boundary of epiploic foramen. Posterior boundary, suppose this is epiploic foramen. So this is the posterior boundary here, where you will have inferior vena cava. That means what? If you remove stomach, if you remove liver, if you remove like the abdominal visceral organs, behind you will see most posteriorly in front of the vertebral column, you will see abdominal aorta and inferior vena cava. Right behind, you are finding the posterior boundary of the 6 is labeled for epiploic foramen only. Posteriorly, we have inferior vena cava. Superiorly, this is our foramen, right? So superiorly, this is the point of liver. When I describe liver in detail in my future classes, you will come to know the inferior aspect of the liver at this point has a lobe called as caudate lobe of the liver. Okay, caudate lobe, and this tail-like process of this caudate lobe, to be more specific, it is called as caudate process of the caudate lobe of the liver. Caudate process of the caudate lobe of the liver. Inferiorly, what is this, Lokesh? What is this area I told you? After stomach.
Pylorus.
Duodenum.
Duodenum. Inferiorly, epiploic foramen is bounded by first part of duodenum. Duodenum will have 4 parts. We will elaborate when we take duodenum. Okay. So these are the 4 boundaries. Let us summarize fast. Anteriorly, the free margin of the lesser omentum with bad structures, bile duct, hepatic artery, portal vein. Posteriorly, inferior vena cava. Then you will see superiorly caudate lobe with the caudate process of the liver, inferiorly the first part of the duodenum. Okay, so that is the boundary. These are the boundaries of epiploic foramen. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Now see here, now we are just classifying the visceral organs. Now this is overall thing about peritoneum, isn't it? The relationship between viscera and peritoneum. Suppose if the viscera is completely covered with peritoneum, like suppose this is stomach. We see like from the liver, the peritoneal reflection has come and it was completely covering the stomach. So that means if the peritoneal covering is completely enclosing the visceral organ, then you use the word intraperitoneal viscera. Intraperitoneal viscera. Viscera is almost totally covered with visceral peritoneum. For example, stomach, first and last part of the duodenum, jejunum, ileum, cecum, vermiform appendix, transverse colon, sigmoid colon, spleen and ovary. These are the organs which come under the category of completely covered with visceral peritoneum. Okay. One example you can remember enough, that is stomach. Then interperitoneal. Interperitoneal means what? Between the peritoneal folds we are finding the visceral organs. If you remember lower down tracing, between the peritoneal folds we had urinary bladder, between the peritoneal folds we had uterus, isn't it? In the initial picture, like that, interperitoneal. That means organs are not completely wrapped by peritoneum. One surface is attached to the abdominal wall or other organs. For example, urinary bladder and uterus. The other organs like that we have our gallbladder and liver also. Interperitoneal. I'll show you the picture again. Retro means behind. That means peritoneum is present in front and visceral organ is present behind. Okay, if you find, suppose this is kidney and peritoneum is covering the kidney from the anterior aspect, then you use the word retroperitoneal. What is the word used? Retro, that means behind the peritoneum. Some organs lie on the posterior abdominal wall behind the peritoneum. They are only covered by the peritoneum on anterior surface. Only on anterior surface we find peritoneal covering. You call it as retroperitoneal. Best example, we have kidney, suprarenal gland. One or two are enough, but I am giving you all list. Pancreas, descending and ascending colon, upper third of rectum, duodenum, ureter, aorta, and inferior vena cava. All these are retroperitoneal. What is this organ, beta? This between the peritoneal folds, what is the word used? Interperitoneal. This is urinary bladder. This is rectum. Interperitoneal, isn't it? Now, peritoneal reflections, already I told you. If it is covering the intestines, what is the word I told you for small intestines?
Mesentery.
If it is covering the transverse colon, what is the word used?
Transverse mesocolon.
Transverse mesocolon. If it is covering the stomach, what is the word we have used?
Greater
Omentum.
omentum.
Lesser curvature, lesser omentum. Greater curvature, greater omentum. Together we use the word omenta. Omenta. Okay, that means certain terms are often arbitrary or commonly used for peritoneal reflections. Okay, that is, for example, mesentery, mesocolon, and all. Any doubt? Okay. Now see here, what is this big apron-like fold of peritoneum which is hanging from greater curvature of the stomach?
Greater omentum.
Greater omentum. Please remember, greater omentum. What is the fold of peritoneum which is extending from the visceral surface of the liver to the lesser curvature of the stomach? Very good. So, omentum, two-layered fold of peritoneum that is extending from the stomach to adjacent organs. Fourth layer of greater omentum is becoming continuous with which organ, Hemalata? Last greater omentum.
Intestines.
Okay, very good. Which part of the intestine?
The transverse colon.
Excellent, very good. It becomes continuous with transverse colon. To continue is what? What is the fold of peritoneum of transverse colon?
Transverse mesocolon.
Excellent, very good. Okay, better. So, covering the stomach, we have two omentas, the lesser omentum towards lesser curvature, greater omentum towards greater curvature. So, lesser omentum is two-layered fold only, whereas greater omentum, I told you, four-layered fold. So, two-layered fold which is extending from the inferior aspect, visceral surface of the liver. To be more specific, this point is actually called as porta hepatis. For hilum, what is the meaning I told you for lung? Entry and exit point. Similarly, for liver, we use the word porta. Port means to enter and come out, isn't it? For liver,
Yes.
the word we use is porta hepatis. So, what are the structures coming and going? VAD. Can you elaborate VAD, Lokesh? Here we found. ikkada anterior boundary daggara. Here we found at the anterior boundary. Yahan pe. Hemalata?
Ma'am, portal vein, hepatic artery, and bile duct.
Excellent. Anteriorly, here I told you we have the VAD structures which are actually starting from porta hepatis. Okay, portal vein, bile duct, and hepatic artery. Okay, I'll show you what is fissure for ligamentum venosum as we proceed with diagrams. Okay, so this is actually continuing till here. That is, what is this muscular partition you have here?
Diaphragm.
Okay, then. So actually, lesser omentum is extending from porta hepatis to the lesser curvature of the stomach. From here, it continues its journey till here. That is the first part of the duodenum. It is just extending like this. Okay, that is lesser omentum. So lesser omentum is now thickened. Can you see? Don't read anything, just see. Is it not thickened? So it is this. What is this part? Duodenum. Very good. From the duodenum to the liver, it is thickened. That's why you use the word hepatoduodenal ligament. The thickening of lesser omentum between the first part of the duodenum to the liver, we use the word hepatoduodenal ligament. Hepatoduodenal ligament. Similarly, there is one more thickening which is extending from the liver to the lesser curvature of the stomach. You call this thickening as hepatogastric ligament. Hepatogastric ligament. Is that clear? Thickening of lesser omentum between duodenum and liver is hepatogastric ligament. Sorry, hepatoduodenal ligament. Thickening between the lesser curvature and the liver, you call it as hepatogastric ligament. Okay? Okay. However, they are related to portohepatitis. I'll help you with diagram, not like this. You will not understand. Lesser omentum has two thickenings. You remember hepatogastric ligament, hepatoduodenal ligament. Okay. Then now see here. This is the free margin. What are these structures? VAD. Lokesh, what are these, beta? Vein, artery, and bile duct. Isn't it? So the lesser omentum at its free margin, it has three important structures. These are actually called as key structures. What are those? Bile duct, okay, proper hepatic artery, and hepatic portal vein. Okay, so anterior most is the duct, in the middle we have artery, and posterior is the vein. Okay, posterior to anterior we use this mnemonic VAD. VAD, posterior to anterior. Posterior to anterior, VAD. Okay, those are the key structures we find at the left free margin of lesser omentum. Okay, the contents of lesser omentum. When you look at the lesser omentum, what are we finding? Lot of fat is there, VAD structures are there, one artery is seen like this, no, which is coming as a branch of abdominal aorta. If you cut and see from celiac trunk, one artery will be coming. We will see what are those. Now, the contents of lesser omentum are, first you should write lot of fat. Okay, apart from that, we have these blood vessels which are running along the lesser curvature of the stomach. This I will elaborate again when I take stomach. Lesser curvature of the stomach will have two arteries. You call it as right and left gastric arteries. Okay, left gastric artery, right gastric artery you will find here. You will find lymph nodes. We also find lymphatic vessels. We will find autonomous nervous system, sympathetic and parasympathetic. Lesser omentum itself 5 marks question, beta. You should listen carefully and understand carefully. I hope you understood lesser omentum.
Yes, ma'am.
Extending from the portohepatis to the lesser curvature of the stomach, it has two thickenings, hepatoduodenal, hepatogastric ligament. At the lesser free margin, we have posterior to anterior VAD structures. Contents are fat, then left gastric artery, right gastric artery, autonomous nervous system, lymphatic vessels, and the lymph nodes. Okay, I will share this PowerPoint. Slowly you read and try to understand everything. If not, you ask me tomorrow. Okay, now see here, what is this apron-like structure which is hanging here? From the greater, see, this is liver, this is stomach. From the greater curvature of the stomach, we have, what is this layer? Greater omentum. Greater omentum will have how many layers? 4 layers. Okay, see here, if it is apron-like structure, if you just consider this like an apron, the first layer is folding on itself like this to form 4th layer. Okay, first layer is folding on itself. That means this is first layer and behind is 4th layer. Whatever is inside, that is lesser sac. This becomes 2nd layer and the other becomes 3rd layer. Okay, so see here, first layer is folding on itself like this to form 4th layer. Now, if you just see the sac in between, the posterior aspect of first layer is 2nd layer, the anterior aspect of 4th layer is 3rd layer. Like that, we have this apron-like structure. It has how many layers? 4 layers. Okay, it is the largest peritoneal fold, consists of double sheet folded on itself so that it is made up of 4 layers. See here, it's very clear. first layer is coming like this and becoming continuous with transverse colon. To continue as transverse mesocolon, you call first and fourth layer. Inside, lining the lesser sac, this is the second layer, and the one which is continuous with the fourth layer is the third layer. Between them, between the second and third layer, we have lesser sac. Outside to first and fourth layer, we have greater sac. Hope you understood better. I'm trying to make it more
Yes, ma'am.
clear. Okay. So the anterior two layers that descend from the greater curvature of the stomach and the superior part of the duodenum hangs down like an apron in front of the coils of small intestines and turns upon itself back, and it becomes continuous with the transverse colon. Okay. So this is the first layer. Now it has just folded on itself and then it has become attached here. This is our transverse colon where it is becoming continuous, fourth layer. Now it is continuing over the transverse colon to form what?
Transverse mesocolon.
Transverse mesocolon. Transverse mesocolon. Transverse mesocolon continues to cover the small intestines to form what? What is the small intestine covering of peritoneum called as?
Mesentery.
Mesentery.
Very good, mesentery. Okay, so the two layers you can see we have cut and shown so as to make you understand. First has become fourth, second has become third. It became continuous with the transverse colon. Two layers are separated to cover anterior and posterior surfaces of transverse colon. Then they become continuous to form transverse mesocolon. This is our transverse mesocolon. Fourth layer covering the transverse colon to become transverse mesocolon. Okay. Then the greater omentum, this one yellow thing. The upper part of the greater omentum, which is extending between the stomach and transverse colon, is termed, this one is thickened to form one ligament. Wherever peritoneum is becoming thick, like I told you, the ligaments between the duodenum, hepatogastric and hepatoduodenal ligament, just now we have discussed, no? But similarly, we have a thickening between the colon and stomach. You call it as gastrocolic ligament. Gastrocolic ligament. That means this point, beta. Stomach, this point. Gastrocolic ligament. Exactly where I am keeping my arrow. Between the stomach and transverse colon, the thickening of peritoneum, you call it as gastrocolic ligament. Yellow in color here. Okay. In adults, the four layers of greater omentum, when you do the dissection in the cadaver, they look as one layer only. They become adherent. Okay. They get sticked to all each other, and are found wrapped about the organs in the upper part of the abdomen. Okay. Contents of greater omentum. We will find the blood vessels which are running like this. These are actually called as gastroepiploic arteries. Okay. Right gastroepiploic artery is this, left gastroepiploic artery is this, and it is found here at the greater curvature of the stomach. Obviously, everywhere you remember we have lymph nodes, everywhere we have lymphatic vessels, everywhere we have fat, autonomic nervous system. All this list is same as lesser omentum. Only these vessels name is different. There in the lesser omentum, left gastric artery, right gastric artery. Here in the greater omentum, gastroepiploic vessels. Rest all are same. For your easy understanding, I am telling you. Okay. Now, what are the functions of greater omentum? Greater omentum is actually called as policeman of the abdomen because it will have lot of macrophages. So wherever, like in the greater sac, you have any infection, this moves like a policeman. It goes there at the place of bacteria and it engulfs the bacteria. It's highly motile in the living body. See, the greater omentum contains numerous fixed macrophages which perform an important protective function. As you can see, greater omentum, lot of yellowish fat is there. That means it is a storehouse of fat. Okay, and it is like a sieve. Okay, it has cribriform appearance. Okay, but it always has adipose tissue, more so with obese people than with lean people. Okay. Migration and the greater omentum has limits spread of infection in the peritoneal cavity because it will migrate. I told you it can move. It is acting like a policeman to the site of any inflammation in the peritoneal cavity. Okay, and it wraps itself around such a site. Greater omentum, that's why it is called as policeman of peritoneal cavity. Okay, so mesentery I will continue tomorrow. Okay, beta? That is there in peritoneum. So all of you write about peritoneum, greater omentum, lesser omentum, functions of peritoneum. All these I want you to write. And most of you are not submitting your answers. Everybody, you submit your answers also, please. Okay.